Story time. I was thinking about what I could tell you about something in my life that was kind of interesting. Um, One of the things that I found interesting was a lot of the travels that I did, and I was fairly young at the time. I had been living in Key West, Florida, playing guitar and singing, having a really good life. I lived there from age 27 to right before I think I turned 30 there. Yeah. And the different jobs that I had while I was in Key West were all music, guitar, singing, music. It was a really, really good time in my life. I was slimmer. I lost 10 pounds moving to Key West without even dieting because in Key West, everyone does is ride bikes. And like you just I parked my van. I had a van, parked it, and rode my bike everywhere. Even to do laundry, just loaded it in a big old, they call them a conch basket. They're right in front of your handlebars. These giant baskets people put on them, and I would do my grocery shopping, my laundry. My little dog named Ty at the time would sit in there, and we would go all over by bike. So I guess just being that active took like 10 pounds off. I was shocked when I went to a doctor there. But anyway, so I had been playing guitar and singing. I was playing when I started when I was about 12. At age like 15, I kind of said, I'm going to play guitar and sing for my living. I just want to be in a bar, and sing, which I did do. It came to happen. I got a little tired of the bar scene. I don't really drink. I might have a cocktail, with dinner sometimes, or a glass of wine, but I'm really not a big drinker. So I was playing guitar and singing at different lounges, and I got this job playing guitar and singing at a cruise ship, not a big cruise ship, but like a dinner cruise boat. This big ship, it was fairly big, but it wasn't a cruise ship. They would park on Mallory Square Dock, which is where the sun sets and everybody gathers. This is a long time ago. I don't think that they would do that now, but at the time, I was hired to sing from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Like, I don't remember the days. I think it was like Thursday through Sunday. I'm not even sure of that for sure, but it was such a simple, easy job. Easy gig, they called it, I would play guitar when everybody was getting on the ship, kind of like a cocktail hour. And then I would stop playing the guitar. I'd go to the buffet line, grab some dinner, and go upstairs with my dinner where the top deck. And it was, the stars were out, and I'd eat. They had like fresh ham, fresh turkey, salads, veggies, just a really nice fresh salad dinner buffet. And then I would go back downstairs, and by that time, the people had their dinners, and I would play guitar and sing for about 45 minutes while they were eating dinner, and we were like going out. They would I think like cruise out about 12 miles. No gambling, just dinner cruise, and then at a certain time after dinner I'd play one more like 40-minute set until we got back to dock. And at that time I would play more dancey music, and people would more things with a beat, and that would be the gig. And then at one point it was very successful, and the owner of the boat, this ship, I forget it, I think it was called the Viking Queen. Yeah. Wow. I'm glad that came back to me. Anyway, at one point, the people that owned the ship were all from New England. They were all out of New Hampshire, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And they said, listen, you're doing so well. Can you hire somebody to maybe play drums or, some backup, help make it fuller for dancing? So I did. There was a guy on every night at sunset, a guy named Zambu. A beautiful, very bohemian black man would sit, and he had conga drums, and he was good. And he would, like, bring the sunset down. And so I came up to him and said, Sambu, would you like to make, I think at the time it was $50 that they gave me to give to him. And I said, would you like to make $50? Like, I don't know if it was 3 nights or 4 nights a week. And he was like, yes. So we would play together, and we would also go up and have our dinner before everybody else. We would be the first ones to get the buffet, fresh, yummy dinner, go upstairs, eat our dinner, smoke a joint. I know some of you are going to think, wow. But those were the days, and that was Key West. And we would, get a little buzz and go downstairs and make some music. And it was so much fun, I must tell you. I loved that job. And at the end of the season, I was asked if I wanted to go to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, follow the crew, the boat and the crew up to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I could sing and play music while people went out whale watching, because that's what they did up in that area. I said, sure, so I packed up my van. I traded this guy, I had a couple guitars, I traded a guitar, and this guy built me a bed, a frame of a bed and a closet, and I put all my PA, my speakers and all that stuff underneath the bed. The closet was for my clothes, and of course, as much stuff, I can't remember everything I brought, of course, but, I camped out. I drove from Key West, Florida. I stopped in Miami, and my parents were there, of course, to say goodbye, and then drove from Miami area up to New Hampshire by myself. I think it took me like 3 days on the road. I camped out by myself in RV parks in my van, and cooked in my van. And at the time I was younger, I don't think I could do that now because I didn't have air conditioning, no electricity. I mean, I had electricity at the RV parks because an extension cord and lights, but I cooked on a little gas stove, and I enjoyed it. I went through New York City and visited a friend there, got up to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the people that owned the boat, they introduced me, they took me to the mother of this man, because he was about, I was about 29 at the time, and I think he was about 35. But anyway, I stayed at his mom's house, beautiful home in Portsmouth. And then we went out and found me a little walk-up apartment, 3 flights up. It was just a big efficiency apartment. It had even one of those pull-down beds. What do they call? I forget what they call those beds, but a Murphy bed, and kitchen. And it was a strange situation, because once they put me into my apartment, I wanted to go work, but it was April, and they did not start really going out whale watching until I think it was mid-June. So they got me there kind of early and just told me to go drive around. This is the part that kind of sucked. They said, go to the fraternities and sorority houses. It was, I think, Concord, New Hampshire, thinking that's the town, where the fraternities and all that, they were all one after another on this road. And every time I stopped to see if they would like to book a party on our cruise ship, they were saying, oh no, we're already booked. We booked that months ago. So it was sort of like, it was all too late. And so no matter what I did, they were already booked. If nobody was ready to book for this gig that I had. And I was getting pretty upset. And I tell you that in all my travels, and I thought New Hampshire, and I went up to Maine at the time, right there at Gunquit, Maine, was beautiful, just beautiful. And I loved the food. The seafood was great, and you could buy a Maine lobster cheap, and clams, and I enjoyed that part. But pretty much by myself for like 6 weeks. I think I did meet one person, and he was a nice guy, but I wasn't interested in a relationship. I wound up deciding that this wasn't for me. I could not sell anything, and I wasn't going to wait for weeks more before I would, play music. And I got an offer back in Key West to sing at another place, so I wound up driving myself home. It was kind of disappointing, and I will say that in New England, when I got there, I was wearing lime green shirts and, hot colors from Key West, and everybody else was wearing penny loafers, plaid shirts, blue jeans, corduroys, and they were so different than me. I really felt out of place, and I really felt like if you didn't spend winter in the freezing winter with these people, they didn't trust you, and you weren't one of them. Honestly, that's how I felt. It might not be that way really, but that's my take on it. I wound up going out and buying, penny loafers and a plaid shirt so I could mingle, but I really never clicked with the New England people. I thought it was gorgeous. His family was nice to me, but again, I felt really alone there, and I wound up driving back to Florida. But I thought it was a really, really interesting place in my life, a time that I'll never forget. And I just loved the beautiful homes, the oldness of it. I know, just gorgeous areas, and the beaches were really like rocky, cliffy, very dramatic ocean coast. And I did enjoy that part, and I loved the food, but I did not like feeling like out of water, a fish out of water. I felt that way when I got to Texas too. But Texas, the difference, Texans are friendly, very, very friendly, especially being that I'm with such a big family here, that it was just much more of a, I was a fish out of water again, but I could swim, in this sea. Anyway, I thought I would just share that little story of my life with you guys, just to let you know what I went through when I was in my late 20s. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening and watching.